This is Willie. I want to welcome you to Willie's. We got a big old Texas Time 24.
It's Flash Phelps on the 60s channel, the 60s on 6 at XM.
I'm Bob Edwards. My show on XMPR is eclectic.
It's the Jupiter Symphony, number 41, Mozart's Final Symphony.
Welcome to our new channel, Oprah and Friends, XM Channel 156.
Congratulations on your new GM vehicle. We hope you'll enjoy the most entertaining new feature, XM Satellite Radio, a world of audio entertainment right at your fingertips. XM provides a new dimension to your driving experience. However you want to spend your time on the road, XM has what you need. Whether you feel like being entertained or informed, there's a channel that will make you laugh, think, or sing.
I'm Eric Logan. I'm the Executive Vice President of Programming for XM Satellite Radio. I really believe XM is all about discovery. We are working day in and day out to create new shows. Everybody has their own experience.
You can listen to XM right now. Your new vehicle already has XM built in and activated. Just press the band or XM button to tune to XM and begin listening. Some of XM's most popular channels have already been saved to the radio preset buttons, or you can change channels with the radio tuning control. On some newer radios, the AM, FM, and XM channels are next to each other on the same screen. XM is as easy to use as AM or FM, but gives you much, much more. Dozens of original commercial-free music channels and the best sports, news, and entertainment, all delivered with digital sound quality from coast to coast. Plus, you can see exactly what you're listening to displayed on the radio faceplate. Press the display or info button on the radio to see more information and change the way it's displayed. The XM brochure that came with the CD or the one that's in your glove box has more details about your radio and where to get additional information. This CD will give you a guided tour of XM's channels and help you find the perfect channel for you. So escape with XM. It can turn even the dullest drive into pure enjoyment.
You can be driving home and listening to an Artist Confidential or any number of our original programs and be so drawn into a conversation with somebody that you will sit in your driveway for a half hour before you even know you got home.
XM's channels are divided into neighborhoods, groups of channels that play similar styles of music or entertainment. Our 7 country channels start at Channel 10. Current hit music starts at Channel 20. The rock channels at Channel 40, and so on through every genre. The XM brochure includes a complete channel guide broken down by neighborhood with channel numbers, names, and brief descriptions. This CD will take you through the neighborhoods and let you hear a little more about each of them. If you'd like to skip ahead to a specific neighborhood or type of music, just refer to the track listing on the CD package and move to the track you'd like to know more about. For example, to find out about XM's rock music channels, skip to track 6. Let's start right at the beginning with XM's Decades neighborhood. We dedicated the first 6 channels to music from a specific decade. There are no oldies on XM. A top 10 single from 1955 is still a hit on our 50s channel.
Hi, this is Kurt Gilchrist, Program Director for our 6 Decades channels, which are the first things you actually come to on the XM dial, starting with the 40s all the way through the 90s. And what we've done is we've kind of transported you back in time, where you actually feel like you're in the 40s. Duke Ellington, Tommy Dorsey, Glenn Miller, Judy Garland, and try to create it as if you were actually listening to the radio in 1944. So if you're a fan of Track 4, Channel 4, the 40s, you probably would also want to check out Radio Classics at 164, or Willie's Place for some old country, or Frank's has more of the traditional music at XM 73. Our 50s channel is referred to as the birth of rock and roll. Obviously, the music of the decade was Elvis, Buddy Holly, Bill Haley. And this was actually before the king was king, when he was just a young guy. This was the birth of cool. If you're a fan of the music from the 50s, not only will you like the channels that surrounded the 40s and 60s, but you might also want to check out Escape at XM 78. Our 60s channel is an experience right out of 1968. Obviously, the music of the channel, we have everything from the British invasion with the Beatles and the Stones, but the Beach Boys, Mamas and the Papas, Temptations. This channel really focuses on a lot of personality. Wolfman Jack. We've brought back the old shows, and actually Wolfman, believe it or not, people think that he's still alive and on the channel. So if you want a complete time travel experience back to the 60s, this is the channel for you. You'll probably also want to check out Deep Tracks XM40 or Soul Street XM60. If I were to say Watergate, Farrah Fawcett, AMC Pacer, you would obviously know I'm talking about the 70s. The music bounced all over the place. Carpenters, Osmond, that wholesome sound, to the middle of the decade, which was heavy with the rock, from everything from Fleetwood Mac's Rumours to Lynyrd Skynyrd to Deep Purple. And of course, at the end of the decade, you gotta talk about disco. Everything from Donna Summer to Casey and the Sunshine Band. If you like the music of the 70s, you'll probably also want to check out Chrome, our disco channel at 83, or The Groove, 64, which has more of that urban feel. Top Tracks for that rock at XM46. When you enter the 80s, pop really ruled. Even the rock artist and country artists kind of entered the fray. This channel has everything from Van Halen and the Police from the rock side to obviously the big pop bands like Michael Jackson and who can forget Madonna or Whitney Houston. Our 80s channel obviously focuses on the pop hits from the 80s, so if you would like to go a little deeper or experiment with other channels that focus on 80s music, check out Big Tracks, which hits more of the rock stuff at XM49. Or possibly the alternative music from the 80s, which would be, of course, Fred, XM44. You like hair bands? Boneyard, XM41. Or if you like more of the urban product, you'll like The Rhyme, XM65. The 90s, while it seems like it was just here, 1990 was over 15 years ago. And sometimes we forget that. This is a decade that really went from grunge to hip-hop. It had the techno dance stuff. But the channel really focuses on the pop hits. And we take a lot of those genres of music and put them on one channel. So if you like music from the 90s, then you probably like the 90s music through today. So you'll want to check out one of our modern hits channels like The Hit List or Flight 26. If you like more of the alternative music from the 90s, check out Lucy, XM54. Or if you're into dance music, try BPM, XM81.
XM knows that country is more than a place on the map. It's a place in the heart. More than one sound, it's a range of musical styles, and most of all, it's a state of mind where what counts is what's real. And here's Jesse Scott to tell us more.
Waylon, Willie, Dolly, Reba, Garth, Merle, Dirks, and more. You're going to find all of these in the country neighborhood with 7 XM country choices. America is XM10, and that brings you the country music of the 70s and the early 80s. You'll hear Waylon and Willie, the whole outlaw movement for sure. Dolly Parton, who is still a force of nature. We can take you all the way back to Willie's Place for the early country stuff. Also The Village, our folk channel, which is XM15. That'll take you back to the early days of folk for Woody Guthrie and Pete Seeger, and on from there. Cross Country actually pays homage a little bit to the flavors that were created by the likes of those folks, Woody, and also pays homage to some of the people that made music back in the Carter family's day, but we've updated it for what we do. But then, of course, you've got Bluegrass Junction, which definitely takes you back to that era and back to today as well. Faith, Sarah Evans, Tim McGraw, Dierks Bentley, Trace Atkins. You'll find that on Highway 16. We've got the 80s and 90s covered for you, too, with U.S. Country XM17. You got Randy Travis. You got the start of Dwight Yoakam. So we virtually have a home for everybody here in the country neighborhood at XM Radio.
Solid gold from coast to coast. XM's hits channels are the soundtrack to life for a nation of listeners. Music doesn't get more popular than right here in the hits neighborhood. And here's John Zellner to tell you all about it.
So in the pop and hits category, there's actually a wide array of channels which focus on current music from today and hit music from the past 15, 20 years. If you feel like you're out of touch with what's going on in the world, you can be in touch in about 10 minutes by checking out 20 on 20. 20 on 20 plays brand new music, current songs that are voted on by the XM Nation. Hit List is familiar new music mixed with some of the best pop songs that have come out in the past 10 to 15 years. And Flight 26 is really modern adult pop hits from the 90s and today. If you like adult contemporary music, light rock hits, we have The Blend, which really melds about 4 decades of music all in one. Starts from the 70s and goes through today. And then if you want love songs 24/7, there's XM23 The Heart, which is just great love songs, which puts you in the mood 24/7.
We also offer unique channels featuring music that you probably won't hear too many places. Cinematic. It's the sound of Hollywood. Movie scores have never had a home like this before. You'll hear the sounds of some of the biggest motion pictures ever, 24/7 on Channel 27. If you love show tunes, there really is only one place for you. On Broadway, XM28. From The Phantom of the Opera to A Chorus Line, Broadway's biggest hits are all here. The sounds of the world live on Channel 29, U-Pop. The absolute biggest hits from Europe, Japan, Latin America, and more are here. Artists like Nelly Furtado, Snow Patrol, and Robbie Williams call U-Pop home.
Christian music has moved out of the churches and onto the airwaves. XM brings you channels that deliver Christian music from upbeat rock to contemporary gospel.
Well, XM's Christian music programming offers faith-based, inspirational music for any taste. We offer 3 channels, everything from gospel to contemporary rock music. For instance, like if you started with The Message, XM32, a musical journey from the biggest artists of the 80s, like Amy Grant, Switchfoot, and other contemporary favorites you'll find there. Now, if you're looking for gospel, XM33, The Spirit. It's praise and glory 24/7. Now, these are favorites from the past and the present, and we're talking names like Yolanda Adams, Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond. There's just a few of the artists you'll find, and that's on XM33. Now, if you want that gospel music with a little bit more southern flavor, check out XM34. We call it Enlightened. Now, these are the old-time classics, the Gaither Vocal Band, Greater Vision, Ivan Parker, among many others. You can find them all right there. It's like the church doors are open to Enlighten all the time.
The rebellious sounds of rock and roll have settled down at XM. We have channels for every flavor of rock, from soft to hard to ear-numbing. A neighborhood where every type of rock fan, whether hippie or yuppie, long-haired or mohawk, has a channel to call home.
The rock neighborhood is a big place. That's because rock music is a very expansive genre. We cover it all on 14 channels here on XM Satellite Radio.
You get a palpable feel of a music community from each of these channels.
If you're looking for depth and breadth, the Generations Musical Stash lives on XM40. In the Deep Tracks, we consider it part of our mission to help preserve the Generations Musical Stash. Our job is to play it on the radio. 80s hard rock and hair bands. That's the Boneyard on XM41. This is where you get your Ozzy, your Metallica, your AC/DC.
Hi, I'm Lou Brutus, and I want to tell you a little bit about liquid metal on XM. Liquid metal is the kind of music that will make most people scream and writhe in fear. It will give them nightmares. Grown men will often weep like schoolgirls when they first come in contact with XM42 liquid metal. However, if your idea of a good time is losing your hearing by the time you're 22, by all means, join us on liquid metal.
If you want to take the energy level down just a little bit, check into the XM Cafe on 45, or spend some time in the Loft on XM50. XM Cafe and the Loft, a showcase of alternative rock for grown-ups. Top Tracks, XM46, iconic rock bands, some of the greatest the generation has to offer, all without commercial interruption. That's more than cool. Remember listening to the radio to discover what was going to be happening next? Boy, do we have some channels for you. Check out The Verge on XM52, and you can hang out on the campus of XMU, Channel 43. And for those of you who like your sound manipulations with a bit of a harder edge, check out Squiz, from Audioslave to Korn to Rob Zombie and Pearl Jam and back again. Then there's this genre of the music called alternative rock. It's Fred on 44, Ethel on 47, Lucy on 54. The Giants of Alternative, the most important songs of the formative years. You'll find something on the XM Alternative menu for your tastes. Big Tracks is for members of the generation who came along a little bit later in life. This is where you get your favorite tunes from the likes of Genesis starring Phil Collins. Then, of course, you have your Van Halen, your R.E.M., your Cars.
Funks 53 is XM's dedicated punk channel. We play 30 years of punk. We play every genre and subgenre, and we toss it all in together. You might hear something from Rancid, followed by something from Operation Ivy, followed by something by Green Day. All the different genres and subgenres of punk are well represented on Fungus.
Rock and roll. It's all in your attitude.
Here's a quick reminder about XM's parental control system. This neighborhood includes at least one XL channel, a channel with frequent explicit language that may not be appropriate for all ages or audiences. You can block reception of XL channels on your radio by calling XM Listener Care at 1-800-XM-RADIO. It starts in the streets. From the soulful expressiveness of R&B to the rhythm of a rapper's beat. It could be decades old or newer than tomorrow. No matter, it's urban and it moves you.
Our 7 urban channels are as unique and diverse as the artists who appear on them. We offer everything from early days of Stax and Motown to Snoop Dogg and Ludacris, with everyone from Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson, and Run DMC in between. Popular urban music has a glorious and rich past that spans nearly 5 decades, and we try to celebrate that here on XM. All roads to soul lead down Soul Street. Your favorite Motown and Stax artists live here 24/7. Smokey Robinson, The Temptations, The Four Tops, they're all here. Sweet 62 is all about Smooth, Luther, Marvin, and Patty all live here. Want to relive the funkier days? Got the Commodores, Earth, Wind & Fire, and many more on the Groove, XM64. And there's nothing like the rhyme anywhere else on radio. It's all about the birth of rap and hip-hop. We've got all your favorites from Run DMC to Biggie, LL, and NWA. We have 3 contemporary urban channels, Raw, The City, and The Heat. From beats straight off the street on Raw to the hottest modern hip-hop hits from Missy Elliott, Jay-Z, and more on The City and The Heat. You'll always be on top of the hottest acts of today.
Here's a quick reminder about XM's parental control system. This neighborhood includes at least one XL channel, a channel with frequent explicit language that may not be appropriate for all ages or audiences. You can block reception of XL channels on your radio by calling XM Listener Care at 1-800-XM-RADIO. XM's got more jazz, more blues, more ways. In a mellow mood? Want something hot? Little too cool? Well, you can choose your moment with channels of every hue from the jazz and blues palette.
Hi, I'm Trinity, Director of Jazz Programming at XM, and we have 5 choices in the jazz and blues neighborhood at XM, starting with Real Jazz, XM70. That's the home for traditional, classic, straight ahead, bebop. You'll find it all. The jazz pioneers from the 20s to the young lions of today. They are swinging coast to coast with folks like Ella Fitzgerald, Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, Miles Davis, John Coltrane, and Wynton Marsalis, a member of the XM artist family, who hosts a regular show on Real Jazz called In the Swing Seat. Originating from the House of Blues in the Jazz Mecca in New York City at Jazz at Lincoln Center, Real Jazz, XM70. For the contemporary sounds, tune into Watercolors, XM71. It's a blend of contemporary and smooth jazz. We like to call it art for your ears. And there is where you will find me, Trinity, as your host. You'll find the music from Dave Koz, George Benson, Diana Krall, Chris Bodie, the Rippingtons, Sade, and more with Watercolors, XM71. For the more plugged-in jazz aficionado, listen to Beyond Jazz. It's our modern jazz channel where you'll find jazz rock fusion from the 60s on. It's music from Pat Metheny, Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea, Weather Report, and that electrified sound of Miles Davis back in the 60s. It's modern jazz on XM72, Beyond Jazz. Looking for old blue eyes? Well, you'll find Frank Sinatra and all his friends Tony Bennett, Rosemary Clooney, Nat King Cole, Bing Crosby, Ella Fitzgerald, and more on Frank's Place, originating from New York and hosted by legendary New York radio personality Jonathan Schwartz. It's the American Songbook featured on Frank's Place, XM 73. And rounding out the jazz and blues offerings on XM Radio, it is Bluesville, where you'll find down-home blues of yesterday combined with the rockin' blues of today. It's home to B.B. King, Muddy Waters, Etta James, Keb Mo, Stevie Ray Vaughan. It's the mother of American music on Bluesville. That's XM 74. Finally, on the radio, all of America's music, from traditional jazz to the blues. All the offerings are right at your fingertips here at XM Satellite Radio, starting at XM Channel 70. Welcome to the Jazz and Blues neighborhood at XM.
Fresh and hard to define, XM's Lifestyles channels offer an eclectic, organic mix of music that enlighten, educate, and satisfy.
You love the music you hear at Starbucks? Well, Hear Music is not only the sound of your favorite coffee house, but it's also your source for finding new music that you'll love and hearing artists you can't live without. Eclectic. It's the only way to describe fine-tuning. I mean, everything from the Chieftains and Cat Stevens to Yanni and Yes. If it's sophisticated and inspiring, you'll find it here. Go on a journey of relaxation and escape. Let Audio Visions transport you to another state of mind. I mean, if you like artists like George Winston and Enya, you'll probably be coming back again and again. Escape. XM78 is really just that. It's an escape from the ordinary. You'll find soothing instrumental versions of some of the best songs of the past 60 years, along with great vocal favorites and a few pleasant surprises.
That heavy thumping sound is either your heart or your subwoofer. If the rhythm gets you and the sound moves you, you're listening to Dance on XM.
Hey, this is Sky, Program Director of XM81 BPM. You can also hear me in the DJ booth every afternoon as well, having tons of fun with dance music. We have 5 dance channels here at XM Satellite Radio, and it's very difficult to find dance music on radio, but that's what XM is for. With the dance channels here at XM, we take you up close and personal with the biggest DJs in the world and the biggest artists in the world to the nightclubs and make you feel like it's the weekend every single day. Let's start with XM80, The Move. The Move is America's first 24/7 house, progressive, club culture dance music channel. Artists like Frankie Knuckles, David Morales, Louis Vega, Pete Tong, John Digweed, D-Fuse, and so much more. The Move is America's window into club DJ culture and dance music. We go up a notch to Channel 81. It's BPM. We are America's dance hits. Basically anything from Madonna to Justin Timberlake and DJ Tiesto to Ferry Corsten. It's your own little driving nightclub. XM82, the system, well, that's a whole other journey. It's energy. It's nonstop. It's relentless. You know, with artists like BT, Paul Oakenfold, Armin van Buuren, Paul Van Dyke, these are the biggest DJs in the world. These guys represent the club culture and the music scene for millions and millions of people around the world. And the system brings that to you every day, all day. Chrome is America's classic dance and disco. You know, disco. Great thing about Chrome is that it really helps you relive memories. You know, you can hear disco from artists such as Donna Summer and the Bee Gees, the Village People, and even more. You know, freestyle sounds from Stevie B, the Cover Girls, and Expose. It's an incredible genre of dance music, and every single song was a hit. Every single song you knew. And it's only on XM83, Chrome. There is dance music that takes you on a different journey, and that's what XM84 Chill is all about. After a few minutes of listening to Chill, you'll understand that this is a place that pulses with exotic, cerebral music, smooth electronica, ambient sounds. It's really a place that takes you on a different type of journey, a place where you can escape. XM84 Chill. 5 channels, 1 place to dance, XM Dance.
From the Caribbean to Mexico and the Texas border, we've got your Latin sounds.
Hi, this is Jesus Salas, Program Director for the 4 Latin channels at XM. 4 Latin channels. You know what that means? We have every kind of taste possible you can imagine. from the young end to the older end. Let's start off with channel XM90. That's Fuego, our reggaeton-only channel. Artists as Daddy Yankee, Ivy Queen, Tego Calderón, young Latinos from any cultural background identify themselves closely with this channel, Fuego. Viva XM Channel 91, targeting the Latina woman. Pop ballads by Ricky Martin, Luis Miguel, Shakira, and many, many more. All of today's hits by the superstars. You're gonna hear them on Viva XM 91. Oh boy, you like the ranch, don't you? Then we have it for you on Aguila XM Channel 92, our regional Mexican channel. Artists as Ramon Ayala, Los Tigres del Norte, Joan Sebastian, Jenny Rivera, Los Huracanes del Norte, Vicente Chente Fernandez, targeting all Mexican music lovers. Another XM-only channel. And if you're into tropical sounds from the Caribbean, we've got Caliente XM Channel 94. This is where you're going to hear Mark Anthony, Oscar de Leon, Juan Luis Guerra, and many, many more. The taste of the Caribbean is on Caliente XM Channel 94, home of the best salsa, merengue, and bachata sounds. And you're going to love it. If you're into all these channels, you might also want to tune into CNN en Español, Channel 126. Also, XM Deportivo, Channel 147. And for the Major League Baseball games in Spanish, tune into XM 190, MLB Play-by-Play en Español.
Our world music channels run the gamut of lifestyles and culture. From that mellow reggae to today's hottest Euro pop hits, the sounds of the world are as close as XM's World Neighborhood. Today's hottest new music with a French twist, XM 100. Now that's air music. It offers this new and emerging artists from nearly every genre of music. Metal bands, hip-hop acts, cutting-edge rock and electronic music. It is all there. Join is much more than a musical journey through the world of reggae. It's like this cultural experience, showcasing an entire way of life. From the early days of Sky and Rocksteady to Maxi Priest, Ziggy Marley and UB40, you'll trace the roots of some of the most powerful and influential music known to man. Sur La Route, XM 102, is French pop music from today and yesterday, all set to wildly lively tones.
XM delivers complete coverage of the classical spectrum, from instrumental to vocal, from the Renaissance to today.
Hello, my name is Martin Goldsmith from XM Satellite Radio's Classical Neighborhood. On XM Classics, Channel 110, you will hear the greatest music of the last 1,000 years. Complete symphonies, concertos, string quartets, music from Hildegard of Bingen to John Adams and John Zorn and Philip Glass, and Mozart, Beethoven, Brahms, Schubert, and Mahler in the middle. On XM Pops, Channel 113, you will hear great music that you have heard your whole life. Overtures, entr'actes, marches, intermezzos, the greatest hits of classical music. On XM Vox, Channel 112, we celebrate the glories of the human voice. Complete opera presentations 3 or 4 times per day, plus oratorios, cantatas, lieder, song cycles, spirituals, and sacred services from around the world.
The best national and international news from names you know, plus in-depth coverage you won't find anywhere else.
This is Scott Walterman from XM Satellite Radio News. The variety of news that we offer on our 13 channels spans the gamut from the traditional all-news station of CNN, Fox, headline news, to the specialty news of Canada 360 or the Weather Channel or Bloomberg and CNBC for Business. Our own Bob Edwards, XM Public Radio. You really cannot find anything else like this on the radio today. We also produce XM Original News coverage. Events in which we let you hear almost everything that happens, whether it's September 11th memorial coverage, launch of the space shuttle, inaugural coverage, election night coverage, gavel to gavel, uninterrupted, without commentary, so that you can hear what's going on at these events.
XM has the most sports play-by-play with comprehensive coverage of our national pastime. Major League Baseball. Every team, wherever you are.
Well, I think what's really good about sports is we offer everything from the casual sports fan to the guy who's really knowledgeable. And it starts out with ESPN, ESPN News, and Fox Sports Radio. Those are your three basic things right there. But then we branched out. One of the latest channels we've got is XM Sports Nation with some of the biggest names in the world of sports. Cal Ripken Jr., you know him from the world of baseball, Coach K from basketball, Jimmy Johnson from NASCAR, just a few of the hosts. XM Deportivo brings you the world of sports from a Hispanic point of view, and we cover everything from soccer and baseball to championship boxing. Sports Plus is more than just sports. From French language coverage of NHL hockey to news and notes on the economy and Canadian lifestyles, it's got all the info you need right here. And we have college sports covered in a big way. ACC, Big Ten, Pac-10 games are on channels 191 through 199. Of course, my favorite is coverage of the PGA golf world on XM 146 with news and notes from around the links. Some of the best racing action anywhere is right here on XM. The Indy Racing League starts on XM 145, covering some of the exciting races each year. You'll get some of the most in-depth coverage you'll find on race day. And, of course, for the sports that are on ice, XM brings you NHL hockey from the season opener to the raising of the Stanley Cup. It happens all season long. Coverage for hockey begins on Channel 204 and runs through Channel 209. Of course, the crown jewel of sports programming, Major League Baseball. In fact, we've created our own 24/7 news and talk channel devoted completely to baseball, Home Plate, XM 175. And we have coverage of every team all season long on channels 176 through 190. You get all this, plus the XM Sports Guide that keeps you up to date on everything that's happening across the entire sports platform, and that's on XM 174.
Trust XM Satellite Radio for programming that both you and your children will love. From Radio Disney to our award-winning original channel, XM Kids.
Hi, this is Absolutely Mindy from XM Kids on Channel 116. On my show, you just have to join me in my bedroom. I'm just some kid just like you, broadcasting out of my dresser drawer, talking into a hairbrush, and speaking out of a karaoke machine. Rumor has it that I've now been syndicated to the kitchen and the garage, but you'll have to listen on your XM satellite radio just to hear me for yourself. On XM Kids, you'll hear music for the whole family. We've got music for the Sandbox set, music for the parents who drive them around everywhere, and we've got music for your big brother and big sister, too. XM Kids is the next generation of radio for the next generation. The Absolutely Mindy Show starring me, where kids can call in from all over the country to be part of my radio show taking place in my own bedroom. I usually have some reason for kids to call, and the idea of my show is that I'm kind of a kid in my own house just playing radio like I did when I was a kid. I truly believe that kids know right from wrong inherently, so they kind of call me up and they're sort of teaching me the lesson. Whenever they call, they've got something to say.
Kids of all ages are going to love Radio Disney. You have popular kid-friendly hits from artists like Kelly Clarkson and Jesse McCartney, plus original programming too.
There's only one place on the XM dial where you'll hear a discussion of everything. From shoe shopping to the Supreme Court to books to music to paint colors, all in one sentence. Welcome to Take 5, an XM channel created especially for women.
I'm Amy Ryer. I'm Director of Women's Programming for XM Radio. And one of the things that I think is so exciting is that XM has just demonstrated an unprecedented commitment to women's programming. We launched Take 5 about a year ago, and there's really absolutely nothing else like it on the radio. A huge forum committed just to programming for women and entertainment for women. You really can't find it anywhere else. Take 5 is a dynamic lifestyles channel that you can listen to really throughout the day. So we kind of start the day with news and information that women really can't find anywhere else. This is cutting-edge information. Then we kind of move into more of an entertainment and comedy mode as the day progresses. So we like to think of it that you can start your day getting great cutting-edge information on your way into work, and as you're coming home, you can just laugh and relax and have great comedy. So we start the day with Good Morning America Radio, which is, news, information, entertainment updates. Then we move into a very exciting show that's one of the older shows for women on the radio called Satellite Sisters. 5 women from around the country call in and talk about what's going on in their personal lives, what's going on in the world, and how it relates to being a woman. Then we move into the Ellen DeGeneres Show, which I think speaks for itself. Ellen DeGeneres has redefined women's programming, and we're very excited to have it on the platform. After Ellen, you can go ahead and listen to our XM original show called Broad-Minded, which features 3 comedians. We call it our Sex and the City Meets the Three Stooges Show, and that is for our evening and afternoon drive. Then after Broad-Minded, we air the Tyra Banks Show, which is a very exciting show. I think that's become extremely popular, particularly for women who are slightly younger than some of the audiences that we would be attracting during the day. The Oprah and Friends channel is a really exciting channel. It's about how to live a better, more purposeful life, about how to find your own voice and your own passion.
When I was 16 years old, I started out on the radio. Now I'm coming back, and I'm bringing a few of my friends. Oprah and Friends is my all-new radio channel, available only on XM Satellite Radio, channel 156.
She's very carefully handpicked her group of experts. These are friends of hers, people she knows well. She knows that they will be dynamic people that everybody will want to interact with. And the channel really is highly accessible. This is really an opportunity to get to know these people, to call in, to email them, and to get their advice directly. The roster includes, of course, starting with her best friend, Gayle King. And Gayle talks about everything that's going on in the world, anything that you want to talk about, she wants to talk about with you. You've got Bob Green, who has expert fitness advice, how to live a leaner life. Dr. Oz, of course, offers critical medical advice that is easy to follow. Then you have Nate Berkus, and he reveals a lot of style secrets on this show and also helps all of us to cultivate our own personal design style. Jean Chatzky's show offers financial advice for women that is accessible and easy to follow. You have Dr. Robin Smith that can help you fix your relationships, whether that's your marriage or your relationships with your kids or your co-workers. Then you have Marianne Williamson, who is offering advice about not only spiritual enlightenment, but how to maintain a spiritually enlightened perspective in the face of challenges that you are facing in your life. And finally, we have Dr. Maya Angelou, who offers advice about not only discovering your own voice, but how to live life according to that voice.
Oprah and Friends. It's a new kind of radio like you never heard before.
From the latest Hollywood gossip to classic radio shows, from political talk to cooking tips, XM's talk and entertainment channels have something for everyone.
If you like talk radio, you'll love XM Talk. No matter what political persuasion you are, you can find something that you'll like. Air America, America Right, news and talk about issues, and specialty shows about cars and cigars, and just about anything, no matter what you like. Dr. Laura, Larry King, the new Oprah and Friends channel, Ellen DeGeneres, Good Morning America Radio, Tyra Banks. It really spans the political and lifestyle spectrum.
Extreme XM is channel 152, talk radio on the edge. Always informative, always entertaining, and most often extreme. Here you'll hear popular shows from experts like Dr. Dean Adele, outrageous entertainers like Lex and Terry, and savvy observers of news and popular culture like Mike McConnell. Want the best in entertainment, news, and gossip? Look no further than E! Entertainment Radio, XM 162. You'll hear original E! programming daily from your favorite hosts including Ryan Seacrest and Juliana DePandy. For a completely unique experience, try Sonic Theater. It's XM Channel 163. From audiobooks to radio dramas, Sonic Theater takes you on an audio journey like no other. You're going to hear audiobooks from Random House Audio, premiere radio dramas from the critically acclaimed series Radio Tales, even classic sci-fi and suspense from The Twilight Zone. Experience the golden age of radio whenever you want on Radio Classics. It's XM 164. This is radio the way it used to be, featuring the biggest stars of yesterday. All the classics are here: The Jack Benny Show, Abbott and Costello, Dragnet, The Shadow, and more. Channel 200, XM Live. It's one of our most unique channels, and you should check in often. XM's best live events are aired on XM 200, as well as original programming and even sports.
World of Topics lives on Channel 165 Talk Radio. You get advice and opinions from some of the most entertaining and informative people in radio, like Bob Costas and Bruce Williams. You'll also stay up to date with news and information on a broad range of subjects with programs like The Drudge Report and Coast to Coast AM. XM Channel 166 offers Views from the Right. America Right, your home for opinions from the likes of G. Gordon Liddy, Peter Greenberg, and Dr. Laura. Air America has found a home on XM Channel 167. Progressive views and opinions from Al Franken, Randy Rhodes, Mark Riley, and more. Some of your favorite Fox News personalities can now be found on their own talk channel, Fox News Talk Channel 168. Bill O'Reilly, John Gibson, and Alan Combs, just a few of the hosts you'll find there. The Power XM 169 offers conversation about social, political, and economic issues from the African American perspective. Featuring the best in Christian teaching ministries as well as powerful talk and entertainment, Family Talk Channel 170, your home for opinions and news from a faith-based perspective. XM is home to the hugely popular Open Road Channel 171. Over-the-road drivers everywhere stay informed and entertained with the likes of Dave Nemo, Larry Shannon, and the legendary Bill Mack 24/7.
Sit down, buckle up, and get ready to laugh with XM's side-splitting comedy channels.
Hi, I'm Sonny Fox. I'm the program director for the comedy channels on XM. We have two comedy channels. 151, well, that's basically stand-up comedy, classic routines, all the way from Bob Hope doing his monologues right on through Jim Gaffigan. And we call that classic comedy and good, clean fun. The reason? Well, the other comedy channel, 150, is not so clean. That is, it's adult-oriented. It's uncensored, which means you'll hear anything and everything, just like you would in the club. And that's what XM Channel 150 is all about. Uncensored comedy. Along with these two channels, we also have The Virus, Channel 202, with Opie and Anthony, Jim Norton, Ron and Fez, and who knows who else will show up. And don't forget Laugh Attack for our Canadian friends,
XM is also proud to offer hilarious side-splitting comedy from National Lampoon Radio. This can now be found on Channel 154.
And after all, the more comedy the better, because if you're stuck in your car in traffic, there's nothing like a good laugh.
Here's a quick reminder about XM's parental control system. This neighborhood includes at least one XL channel, a channel with frequent explicit language that may not be appropriate for all ages or audiences. You can block reception of XL channels on your radio by calling XM Listener Care at 1-800-XM-RADIO.
We also offer instant traffic and weather channels in the 21 largest markets in the country, so you don't have to wait for a 90-second traffic report. You get all of the traffic information you need about the cities that we broadcast traffic information for. So if you're driving up I-95 from Washington, D.C. to Boston or from New York to Baltimore, you can move from channel to channel as you move up the coastline. On top of that, we have a channel called the Emergency Alert Channel, on which we broadcast information about wildfires, hurricanes, tropical storms, amber alerts, highway closures outside of our 21 traffic markets.
We hope you've enjoyed this tour of XM's extraordinary range of programming, and we're glad to have you as a member of the XM Nation. One thing to remember, XM is constantly evolving and changing to bring you the best programming available. Consequently, some content may change. Visit xmradio.com for the most up-to-date listing of channels and special airings across the service. If you want to listen to XM outside your GM vehicle, you can do so with XM Radio Online. There's no cost during your 3-month trial or while you're a subscriber. Listen at home, the office, or anywhere you have access to the internet. To get started, you'll need your 8-character radio ID, which can be found on Channel 0. Then go to gm.xmradio.com and click on the XM Radio Online icon, or get more details from your XM Glovebox brochure. For more information, check out the Glovebox brochure or visit us at gm.xmradio.com.